Welcome back to the Simply His Coffee Shop. I'm joined again with Joe Horn and Brittany Jackson, but we're going to switch it up a little bit today. Last year, actually, we had a really fun episode. We called it the Laughter Show. And everybody has commented on how much they enjoyed that. And Joe and Donna were just telling silly stories. And it was just a really, really fun episode. So we thought that we would do that again today. And Brittany is actually going to be fielding us random questions that we have to then answer. And we're just going to have some fun because, you know, as the body of Christ, we have to take some time occasionally to just stop and laugh. It is the best medicine, and it's just a fun, happy thing to do to kind of get rid of some of those anxious feelings and stuff, and laughter is so good. So let's just have some fun today.
And for context, we don't know what's on this list of questions she's going to be hitting us with.
Yeah, and so these are like holiday themed.
Okay,
since it's Christmas, Thanksgiving time right now. Okay, so the first one. What's the weirdest gift you've ever given or received?
Oh, my goodness. The weirdest?
Yeah, that you've either given somebody or that you've gotten.
Okay. It involves a story. How deep down the rabbit hole do you want to go? Are we doing this? Are we going
Yeah,
down
just
this?
give us a full story.
Leaving the Rubicon? Okay.
Let's go.
So when I was about 13 years old, my best friend from childhood, Jason Pumphrey, if you follow this channel and you've heard some of my old stories, you probably know his name. But we thought we were going to be professional wrestlers.
Oh.
And I don't care if you think we should have long outgrown this, still playing with WWF action figures at 13. Okay? Still collecting the little 5-inch Hasbro figures. To this day, I still have them on shelves in my game room at home, along with a bunch of very special figures that you and Dad bought me as a kid growing up. I was way into, WWF and professional wrestling. Mm-hmm. So what we did, though, was we took our games to next level. Do you know in the 80s and 90s when kids, before they had, laptops and handheld devices, do you remember how all the commercials for things like G.I. Joes, you wouldn't just see a kid playing with a G.I. Joe in a bedroom on the floor, on the carpet.
Right.
No. These action figures had like actual rock assorted decor.
Yes.
And fake streams for the Jeeps and the tanks to go through and splash the water.
Yes.
They would literally build these models of like war zones, and then somehow these kids and they just made the toys look so much cooler.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we were going to have for our fake made up wrestling federation.
Right.
So we got color crayons and Sharpies and cardboard and paper and glue. And we did a little cutout of a crowd, and I sat there for hours tediously drawing the faces on what looked like a whole crowd of people.
Right.
Individual
faces.
And then we propped it up in the corner. So we had, and by the way, if you're a collector out there, this stuff just drives my buddy Jason and I nuts because what kids have access to today, they can buy professional 3D digital prints of all of this stuff.
Oh,
right.
If you play with action figures, you can actually buy fake crowds and miniature size ring assorted accessories like little tables and chairs
fake
and
crowds.
Even little fake commentators with headsets and microphones so that you can build all this stuff out. But as kids, we had to use our imagination and build this out. So,
well, you guys are the reason why those are all out now.
That's right.
Just saying.
No,
your kid grew up and said, "I wish this had happened," and now they're using this stuff. So there you go.
No, that's exactly right. You're right.
You could have made millions.
Now, correction though, you said my generation grew up.
Oh, well,
I would refute that assertion that I ever actually fully grew up, especially if you see my game room and you see I still have all these, action figures. They're not dolls. I've heard people say,
Yes.
Oh, you play
Joe, you got a lot of dolls on the wall.
Yeah.
It's an action figure, but I digress.
To each his own.
Yeah.
Call it the right name.
Yeah. First, let's be clear. These are action figures, not
It's
dolls.
a manly toy.
Yeah. Dolls are small. They have long blonde hair. Girls play with them. These have muscles and hit each other. These are action figures. Okay. Anyway, so I'm 13.
Oh my God.
We're building this entire arena. We found a dark green towel that we used as the arena floor. Because I was a guitar player and I had a microphone, I shoved the microphone under this little plastic Hasbro wrestling ring so that when the figures stomped and collided, you'd hear this amp off to the side crank to 11, right? And so it's, and we turn the reverb all the way up, so it's. We put a little disco ball the size of a tennis ball with a flashlight pointed at it, right above the ring on a
string or
on
something?
a string. Yeah. What do they make quilts out of? Yarn. A yarn dangling disco ball with a flashlight on it. So when wrestlers came out to the ring, we would kill the lights, and literally we've got all these lights going around, and we had a little CD player with just generic Christian. I think a lot of it was Petra.
Probably.
Or Stryper. It's just generic Christian rock music. We'd hit play, so you'd have. And the wrestlers are coming out, and Jason and I are doing the voiceovers. Weighing in, at 280 pounds from Venice Beach, California, Hulk Hogan. Okay.
Just knowing Joe, of course it had to be this production.
That's right.
Yes.
You can't even play without a big production.
No, that's it, man. That's absolutely it.
So it was a mini Skywatch stage, but for wrestlers.
Okay, so maybe I was in training for building sets and stuff. Here is the dumbest, weirdest thing I ever gave somebody for Christmas, okay? We were getting a little bit older now, and we'd stopped playing a lot with our arena stuff, and we had built. You know how wrestlers do pre-match interviews? There's always like an apron or what looks like a theatrical cloth or a curtain. And then there's a logo in the middle, and the wrestler stands there with a promoter. Tell us about tonight's big match, blah, blah, blah. Right. Well, there's a rumor, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to be the winner. Okay. So we had built this thing with a little fake apron. It was a Reese's burrito box, because we also had a catering company at the time. We took a Reese's burrito box and emptied all these frozen burritos out of it, turned it on its side, took a glue gun, and put part of a curtain on the front of this and put a logo in the middle called the Telemoff Wall. We had all these made-up names. I think Scott Lane was a blend of Scott Hall and somebody else, and we just come up with this name. Scott Lane was always our president, or he was the guy doing the interviews. So it'd be, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Scott Lane. I'm backstage right now with Hulk Hogan. He's about to take Razor Ramon on for the Intercontinental Championship. Hulkster, tell us about the match tonight, blah, 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 blah. And we had this dumb Reese's box with a curtain that looked like where you'd stand doing the interviews. You get what I'm saying?
Like a backdrop.
It's the backdrop. So with no context, with no explanation whatsoever as to what this thing was, Jason and I went to a community church event where they were doing a white elephant gift exchange and just wrapped it. And we wrapped it up. And it was ironic because out of like 40 people playing this dumb elephant exchange gift where you trade it and nobody...
Yeah, the bad Santa / whatever.
Somebody opens this thing up and the look on their face was worth the price of the admission. They opened it first to see there was no food. It's kind of light, but there's part of a cloth Telemoff wall, and they're looking at everybody like...
Who brought this?
What is a Telemoff wall? Is it like... What is this? It's like... Not an heirloom box or a jewelry box. It's like a big piece of garbage with a cloth on it. Tell them off. Who's telling something off? What is this? And so there you could see the whispers like, total confusion. So obviously the first instant they get the turn to go exchange their gift with somebody else, they do. And the next guy in line gets this Telemoff wall, and he gets something awesome like a drill pack. A manly drill or, bolts or some tool that a man would care about, or a makeup kit for women or whatever. And they're taking on this stupid Telemoff wall. So it quickly becomes in the room the thing everybody's trying to get rid of. Right? The Telemoff wall, and all of them. And Jason and I, we're not telling anybody. We're sitting there literally trembling inside with delight, about to burst at the seams with laughter because we can't believe that, first of all, we had the gall to do this at a gift exchange. Nobody's sorting it out that it's us, and nobody wants this stupid thing. A cardboard Reese's box with a curtain on the side, glue gunned, Telemoff wall. Anyway, Long story short, it goes through the whole room. And his little sister, Dina, who is also playing the game, finally looks at us and just takes one for the team. She gets stuck with the tell 'em off wall, which totally absorbs her turn because she doesn't have the heart, because we did it and she knows we did it. She doesn't have the heart to like punish this thing upon somebody else, make them absorb their turn and go home with it for the night. So she takes it home. We got all the pleasure of having trolled an entire Christmas party. And guess who the tell 'em off wall ended up with?
Jason. Oh,
You got it back.
We got it back. And we were ready to see it go away.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
So that has got to be the weirdest thing we've ever tried, at least, to give somebody for Christmas.
That's hilarious.
There's probably way more answer than you signed up for, but
Does anybody else have one they want to share? Or we have some other questions we can ask too.
I think that was sufficient.
Yeah, I don't think anything can
we
top
covered
that
the
one.
weird thing.
We
did.
covered the weird thing.
Yeah, but Mom, there's got to be something.
Well,
There's got to be something.
The only weirdest thing I ever got really was a very endearing kind of thing. So the weirdest thing I can remember, my sister and I had decided to make Christmas presents for the family. And we were, we little kids. We didn't have any money, so we were going to make stuff. And so her and I were doing all this paper mache stuff. But she was trying to make me something, and it didn't quite turn out.
Oh.
So I don't know what the beginning of it was supposed to be, but when I opened up the box, there was this little turkey, paper mache turkey, sitting on a bed of straw. And she said, "I made you a turkey in the straw."
Oh, that's adorable.
And I'm like, okay. Well, I kept it until, as our life goes on, things got lost and we moved and things got left behind.
Did it not look like a turkey?
Oh, it was a cute little turkey. I don't know what it was supposed to be, but she crafted it and it had a little cute little
adorable.
colors.
Oh.
And then the little, I forget what you call these little things.
The gobbler.
Yeah, whatever they're called.
Is
It
it?
was
It's not
cute.
the gullet. I know what you mean.
It's a gobbler.
Yeah, it has a name. I can't remember.
It's not a gobbler or a gullet.
But anyway, it's the weirdest thing I ever
I know what you
received,
mean.
but it was a very endearing thing. So it's one that I never forgot. It's probably one of the most memorable because she crafted it with her own hands, and I thought that was so unique.
That's the kind of
is a
thing you
cute
wish you
thing.
could go back in time and make sure you keep,
Right.
because you don't have a
I would
clue
have
where
to.
it ended up with all the moving you did as a kid. But
Yeah.
if you could go back and have that immortalized today,
Right,
oh my
absolutely,
gosh.
I would have.
Anybody else? Nothing weird? I refuse to believe you don't have any weird memories, but
Well, I have weird memories, but I can't. Okay, so one gift that I got at a white elephant gift that I always thought was really fun, and it was always really memorable. And actually, I think I might still have it. But the gift that they had brought to the white elephant gift was actually a little white elephant figurine.
oh, that's cute.
So I think I still have it actually in
That's cute.
storage or something like that. But I always remembered that. I'm like, oh, that's a really cute idea to actually take a white elephant to a white
Yeah, that's
elephant
cute.
gift exchange. So that was probably one of the fun little things that I had gotten at one of those. Not very weird, but
There's a funny story that my family always shares around Christmas time. Whenever I was a little kid, I think I was like 6 or 7 years old. And my mom set up the little VHS, and it wasn't actually Christmas yet. It was like a couple weeks before. And she asked me if I wanted to open a present early. And I'm like, of course I want to open a present early. I've just
kind
been
of a question
trying to
gonna
peel
say yes.
behind, figure out what's in them. And so my mom, kind of pranking me, gives me this present. And I'm like, oh, it's soft. It must be like a teddy bear, like some kind of stuffed toy. And I open it, and it's a pair of socks, just like the white, plain, normal socks. And being a little kid, I got so angry, I threw them across the room. And I was like, I hate socks. And my mom's just behind the camera, like, laughing.
Was she trolling you?
Yeah, she was totally trolling me.
Oh,
Like, she
she's
knew,
playing with
yeah.
your emotions. Yeah.
She was like, okay, you want to open a present? Here's some
Here's
socks.
some socks.
And she's like, well, you needed socks. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want them. Not for
don't want
Christmas. So that's the weirdest present I ever got, was from my mom.
Was some socks, white socks.
Since we're all family here, if we had a karaoke contest, and this doesn't have to be just the family in the room, it could be Donna, Allie, everybody else, who would win and who would be banned?
Oh,
I would definitely be banned.
Me too. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I can't sing.
I would definitely be banned.
oh, who would win? I don't know, Mom. That's
That'd
tough.
be tough.
It would come down to probably a sing-off between Donna and Allie, maybe.
Yeah,
Am I
they can
missing
sing
anyone?
really good.
Well,
Kate too.
Yeah, but okay, in fairness, we're not talking just vocal talent.
Yeah,
We're talking performance,
Yeah.
delivery, cadence, timing. And
Yeah.
Katie would protest the whole time, not wanting the spotlight. I don't want to do this. We would maybe coerce her. There would be maybe one song, but a competition's not happening. Of the two that would be there at 1 a.m., still bummed out that people are tired, would be Allie and Donna.
Yeah.
Except you would give them a run for their money. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't, for the same reasons that Katie, just,
No, but I feel like if Joe got started singing, then he would get competitive.
well, see, so
Kate's
we,
shaking her head off stage. She
yeah, my
agrees.
daughter's over here. She's shaking her head. But here's the thing. We don't have to really imagine this as a fantastical,
'Cause it's happened.
we've done karaoke like
That's
three
why I asked
or four
this one.
times, yeah. And it's
Family
always, I'm totally doner than done with the karaoke, and Donna and Allie are still bummed at 12:31 in the morning that the DJ has got to go home at some point.
We only paid for a few hours.
Yeah, no, it's. I always sing at the karaoke party, as taking one for the, it's for the family.
it's just for fun.
If there's only two, it's not a party. They need people to get past themselves and just go do this thing. You know how it is. It's like you bring a board game and you sit there by yourself while the whole room doesn't want to play it. You need 5 or 6 to kind of pay. So for me, karaoke, that's my relationship to it. It's not my deal. I don't care. But for the grander fun of the family, I'll take a couple and I'll try to sell it like I'm there. But I maintain Allie and Donna, 1
Yeah.
a.m., fever
Yeah.
pitched,
I'd say that's the
and
correct
it's a
answer.
sing-off.
We might have to do that and see
yeah,
who
we'll
wins.
have to do that at Christmas this year and see who wins, and then we'll let everybody know.
Yeah.
What do you think, Mom? Am I right?
I would agree. Yeah, Allie and Donna, they would tie.
Well, there's others
Can't
that have
pick one
fun
over
that
the
can
other.
sing, like Kitty Cat. There's other family members that enjoy it.
Yeah, but
Little
if you're
Althea
Some of
can
the
sing really
kids-
great, too.
Yeah, Althea might give him a run. That's true.
She's younger, so maybe she would win.
yeah, she might have more stamina up and coming.
Her and Joey can really sing. Donna's kids.
Yeah.
I would say, though,
So can Thomas and Becca.
it's possible that Donna is the de facto best, probably the best singer maybe in the family,
The best vocal.
who also has kind of the stage she was a performer and did theater, and so my runoff at 1 a.m. might be now leaning into Donna Howell.
We might have to send this video to them and see what they think.
I know. We'll have to
Yeah,
have
maybe-
a vote.
Yeah, a familial vote. Start a text thread.
One
Or
thing
we'll
I
have to
will
do a
say,
Facebook Live and have them sing for a
Oh my
little bit.
gosh.
We'll do that. That would be fun.
Yeah, if you can get Allie. She's so buried.
No, I know, but if we did it at a family get together, we
Oh,
could
yeah,
just
you
take
could.
a video.
Do a
That'll
Facebook
be
Live.
your job, Brittany, setting that up
Yeah.
now. What were you going to
I
say,
would
Mom?
just say that I have talented kids. What can I say? I'll just
All right, Brittany, what's up? What's next?
Okay. If you could invite anybody, dead or alive, to a Christmas gathering, who would it be? And this doesn't have to be, a family member. It could be a celebrity or a historical figure or somebody from the Bible.
Okay, so without any of the creepy, actually, we are resurrecting someone who is
Right.
just,
Yeah.
For context, somebody's going to say that in the comments later. Skywatch is practicing necromancy. I mean,
No. Hypothetically.
hypothetically, totally fictitiously, without any of the spiritual attachments of talking about how they would get
it's
there,
just a fun
just for
conversation.
fun.
for
Yeah.
fun, without question. No, they've got people on staff laughing because they know the reality we live
What
in at
kind of comments
Skywatch
we get.
TV, right?
Yeah.
Right?
We're not promoting that. We're just saying.
Right. Okay.
If you could.
Without
Just for
a
fun.
doubt, if I could spend another holiday with my dad, it would be a no-brainer. It'd be instant.
Yeah.
I miss him every hour. He was the one that made, for our family, Christmas the most endearing, fun, anticipated holiday of every year.
Yeah.
From the time when we were small and we had nothing, and he was a home missions pastor with 2 nickels to rub together, till later in life, big dealing these stockings for the grandkids that were bigger than the grandkids.
I know the
Stuffed to
grandkids
the
can use them
brim
for
with stuff.
A
sleeping
blanket.
bag.
And then, the stocking itself is an ordeal.
Yeah.
You're 20 minutes in and they're still digging out this 4-foot sock. I'm not kidding you. He bought these. I don't even know where he got them. 4 feet tall. They I'm 6'3". They'd come up to here on me, and they're like 3 feet in circumference, just massive Nephilim stockings.
Yeah, they're
Right?
Nephilim stockings.
Tom Horn and his
So it
Nephilim
fits.
stockings, right?
That fits.
Where in the world?
The Nephilim store.
You could literally get in them. You could get in them like a sleeping bag, giant
Well,
stockings.
their kids would be. They'd be like head
Yeah.
first and like trying to dig out in
The
there.
last
And they're like,
pieces.
you can only see their little feet hanging out
Yeah.
the top of them.
You got to understand, too, for context, the people that didn't know my dad, he did not have a lavish lifestyle and squander money on stuff. He worked 6.5 days a week, and the half day he took off was to take my mom out every Friday.
Right.
And just wrecked himself with work for 50 years, didn't have an off switch,
No.
generated revenue from book sales and honest hard work and things like that. He did not go anywhere. He did not do anything. He did not own a yacht. He was not part of a men's club that goes
There
bowling.
were no
He did
Caribbean
nothing.
cruises. There were no Caribbean cruises. There was none
No
of that.
Caribbean cruises. The one thing he did was at Christmas time,
He would
if
go
you were a
crazy.
grandkid, he was going to go insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. We miss him badly.
Yeah. That would be my answer.
I think that'd be all of our answer.
Okay, here's a good one. If you could rewrite the ending of any holiday movie, which movie would you change? So think of any Christmas movie you've seen that maybe
a
you would
good
switch the
question.
ending on.
Holiday movie. Boy, that's a tough one because I'm thinking about all the holiday movies that come to mind right off the top of my head, like Home Alone, It's a Wonderful Life, Scrooge. Like they all have kind of the ending that,
That's
that
right.
you'd,
That
you'd hope.
fits.
The
Yeah.
happy ending is already there.
Yeah.
I will make mention that my favorite movie at all, period, that I watch every year is the movie Scrooge with Albert Finney, and it's a musical.
Mm-hmm.
And it is to me, I've seen lots of the different Scrooge movies, but he is the Scrooge. He was born to play that part. And it is a traditional, I have to see it every year.
Yeah.
And so
We
this year-
usually watch it as a family.
Yeah.
If
at
you were
some
to
point, too.
if you were to broaden the question to if there were any Christmas productions that you would just redact from the halls of history, I've got one of those.
Okay, let's
But
hear that.
that's not savoring,
Yeah.
up to the end and then only wanting for the end.
Yeah.
Most people won't even know, man, that this exists. But there was this Star Wars Chewbacca. Do you guys remember this? It was like Chewbacca's Christmas special, like 1978 or 81 or something, and it was the dullest, campiest, in my view, torture-driven Christmas. It was and weird. It's like subtitles are you're supposed to be 9 years old and having fun with this thing, and it's and then the subtitles are like, that's right, come to the north of the spaceship, we're traveling in space. And now you're in space and you're going through this dull nebula that's lifeless and the stars don't even move. And then suddenly it goes back to Chewbacca and they've got like Christmas lights in this Star Wars spaceship. And I'm like, man,
Who thought of this movie?
who put this out? And then the Star Wars franchise, like they allowed this? Like nobody took a look. Well, George Lucas didn't see this and go, time. I cannot have brand association with whatever this is. But other than having some Christmas lights attached to it and some themes like red lights and blue lights and some holiday music, man, I don't even know what it was.
I thought you were going to say it was a Chewbacca sing-along with the lyrics at the bottom of the
I want to
ball.
say from memory, it did have some sing-along moments of it or something where they're doing songs. But I just remember, like, is this for kids that can keep up with the text while speechless, bizarro figures from space? What is this weird deal? So anyway,
Now
it's
that's
so
gonna,
bad.
like,
If you go to
surface.
YouTube, no, it's so bad. You're going to have people watching this go YouTube. I think you can type in Chewbacca's Christmas special 1980s, whatever. People have archived this from VHS, and I don't remember what it was, a TV special, or if it was a VHS they sent home in a box of Wheaties, or I don't know, but it does
Go with the
exist.
Wheaties
Hopefully
box.
nobody paid for it. It was so bad.
No, you will not sit through it, but you may want to go to YouTube and find it just to confirm what I'm talking about. This thing was weird. There's a very fun but very cringe-worthy Hulk Hogan movie called Santa with Muscles, where he plays the role of this action star that has a big franchise and these big muscles, and gets knocked on the head, and now he doesn't remember who he is, and he ends up in a mall where he has to put on a Santa suit, and this little elf that's looking for the Santa to run the mall like just pulls him in, and so now he thinks he's playing Santa. It is a little bit like pounding your face in sand,
Yeah.
but little kids like my boy, hilarious, ridiculous. It's very worth kind of that cringe. If you want a movie that makes you feel like you're going over speed bumps every now and then, Santa with Muscles
you
with
need
Hulk
a
Hogan,
good-
or you need a good laugh.
Yeah.
And
Or
you've
you
got
need a
little
Mystery
kids.
Science Theater it up.
Yeah, remember that old series, Mystery Science
Yeah.
Theater? If you want to watch a movie that's so bad it's good and sit there and kind of mock along with the family,
That would be
it's
fun.
innocent fun. Santa with Muscles,
That would be fun.
Hulk Hogan.
We need to do that.
It's fun.
Okay, we can make this kind of like the last question. If you could give one modern gift to anyone from the Bible, so any biblical character, what would you give them and why? And who would it be that you're giving it to?
Okay. Off the top of my head, I have often been jealous of the quality of the essential oils they must have had in biblical times, and I immediately go to frankincense.
That's
And
my
its
go-to.
association with all of the things, boswellia extract, what it does for inflammation. But what we have today is such a dilution of what they had when the earth was pre, pesticides, herbicides, what they're spraying in the air, vehicles, all the things we've done. I would want to go back to one of the wise men and say, hook a brother up
Trade me.
on these amazing oils. Tell me how you're aggregating them. Where are the sources? And then who would I give them to? I would say to those that need them the most, the sick. But a special caveat would be someone like an Elon Musk who would have the technology to decode what it is that could be utilized, or maybe not patented or deranged, but maybe mass marketed. The science to extract what it is specifically, because there are things we think we know, what it's actually doing, and maybe even be able to concentrate that into super therapies against cancer or malevolent disease. That's where my nerd brain goes. What about you guys?
Well, if I had to give somebody something from modern times, I think I would go to King David and give him X. I would give him a phone that has Twitter and let him tweet on it for a while. Because, he wrote the Psalms.
Yeah.
He's a very poetic person. I feel like that would be a fun thing to see pop up on your Twitter
your
feed.
feed?
Yeah. Maybe he'd tweet some funny stuff.
But is he tweeting to the people that were alive at his time?
No,
No,
to
us.
us.
Okay, so you're kind of jumping through time for this.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't technically make any sense because he wouldn't have internet access. But hypothetically, I would like to see what he would tweet.
Yeah, or even what kind of musical stuff he would produce.
Yeah, maybe if he had a phone and could record, that would be cool to hear him playing his harp and
Yeah.
singing. I guess this would be whenever he was a shepherd.
That's
so really
interesting.
young David.
That's interesting. You need these weird questions to make your imagination kind of come up with some of this stuff.
What's funny is that when you mention King David in modern music, I think of Keith Green.
Oh, yeah.
I think if you're going to put that King David Psalms and that spirit of anointing in a modern setting, I would get Keith Green out of that. So I would like those two to meet, I guess.
Yeah, collaborate.
Yeah, that would be amazing
would
to get
be
music
cool.
from that. Yeah.
That would
However
be very
that works.
cool.
That may not answer your question exactly as you asked it, but that's what came to mind.
What about you, Catherine?
That's a difficult one. Because I kind of think too about, so when John was writing Revelations, he's trying to describe things that he saw. And so I would almost want to take like some pictures or some posters and stuff of our modern day missiles and helicopters and things like that and take them back to him and ask him, is this what,
Is this
you
what
saw
you
saw? That
in
is a
your,
great answer.
in your visions and stuff, and just kind
Or
of
is it
think-
worse than this?
Yes, or what was it? Or was it similar to these types
Yeah.
of things, and see what he would say about that. So taking some of those pictures and what we have in modern day and take them back to him and say, was this kind of what you saw, or what
Yeah.
did it look similar? Because that would be a really interesting question. So I guess it's not really a gift, but it would be like, or maybe even give him an iPad with one of those cool pens that he could like maybe draw out what he saw,
Yeah.
so that then we
That
would
would be
have a better
interesting.
understanding of what parts of Revelation even mean.
That's a good answer.
Yeah,
So that's just where my brain would go.
Yeah, if the question becomes, what biblical character would you step through time to go back and be with or learn from or talk to? Now it's a totally different show.
Yeah.
It just my brain is just sitting here thinking of so many. I would love to talk to the man that carried Christ's cross.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
I'd love to ask,
Yeah.
what was his life like? Who was he? And
Yeah.
beyond that, what did he do after that? And what motivated him to lift the cross? Who were the two thieves that hung, next
There's
to
a
Jesus?
lot of
What
those,
were they?
yeah.
What were they guilty of? Were they really guilty, or were they being martyred? I mean, just countless. David, before his
Becoming king.
collision with what was going to be Goliath and maybe his brothers, like.
Yeah.
How nervous? Was he at peace? Was he projecting strength but walking in total peace? Or was there part of him that had doubts in the back of his head about his mission? And then because of his act of obedience, God rewarded him. You know what I'm saying? Because we do a lot of things where we're walking in faith, but there's that human part of our
Are you
brain
sure you wanna do
that kind of
this?
wonders how it's going to turn out, So many things. So many people.
It's like to almost just be a fly on the wall.
And I would never say or
Experience
be
it.
guilty of saying, well, what I would have done, because come on. No, what you'd have done is probably starved to death. Like with my germophobia, my inability to be in little villages where they're eating food with their hands and stuff, I would never say what I would do.
No soap or.
No supplements.
Well, I guess they didn't really need them though.
No hand blenders. No.
I would need some air conditioning if I'm in Israel.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
BC.
Yeah.
It's too hot.
Yeah.
You just never know, though. You get used to stuff, too.
Yeah, because I
when
guess
you're
you
there.
grew up without air conditioning.
Yeah, we
How
don't
did
have
these
any air
men-
conditioning, so.
I mean, just how were they as strong as they were? Some of these swords that would have weighed 75 pounds, these Claymore style,
Yeah.
two-handed sword. I lift a 40-pound bag of dog food, and it's like one to get over the shoulder, boom, carry it to the car, one to throw it in the back. I don't know how you'd use one arm to do this for 2 hours of how in the world?
Or women carrying big jugs of water on their head or on their shoulder for miles every single day just to bring water to their home because they didn't have
Yeah.
running water.
Yeah.
They had the community well.
I would
Pretty
not want to
crazy.
visit that. I've done that before. I've had the bucket water, and I'm done with it.
Wow, this has been such a fun thing to do, and just random questions and comments and commentary and stories. It's always so much fun when we do that. And if you enjoyed it too, please leave us a note about it, because we want to hear from you. We always love hearing from you. And if you have like specific questions too that you would like for us to answer, please send those to us as well, and we'll try our best to answer any and all of your questions that you might have about traditions or just random questions of funny stories and things like that. So please let us know, and we will see you again next week in the Simply His Coffee Shop.